You know, I never will forget watching January 6th unfold. I'll never forget sitting there watching the TV, madder than hell watching it, and thinking to myself, well, this is the end of Donald Trump's political career. He's done. Everything that we ever warned them he was, now they can see that's what he was. And so they'll see through it, and we'll move past this, and he'll be held accountable. And that's the end of his political career. And yet here we are in 2023. He is the front runner of the Republican Party, and they actually entertained the idea of him being Speaker of the House. Can you imagine being a party in such shambles and in such ruin that not only would you consider him being your front runner, but you would also, any way in the world to get him in there, just make him Speaker? It's got to be one of the craziest things that I've ever seen. Now, I'm sure Donald Trump probably did entertain the idea just for a minute. He probably thought, wait, will I be able to do away with all of my problems? Will I be able to wave a magic wand and get rid of all these indictments and all these charges brought against me? Will I be able to get rid of all this? And somebody somewhere had to sit him down in a chair and say, no, Donnie, that's not how government works, which has pretty much been his entire political career. He's had to have somebody sitting there going, no, this isn't how it works. And then in turn, people have tried to turn to his followers and go, sorry, I know you guys think this is a Celebrity Apprentice, but no, this isn't how government works. Now, Republicans made a rule a couple of years ago that if you've been indicted, you can't be Speaker. I'm sure that wouldn't have mattered. I'm sure they would have bent the rules to do whatever they wanted to do. It wouldn't matter to them. But the idea that they would want him to be Speaker is hilarious, because can you imagine him in that role? He would actually have to probably do more work at the end of the day. And he would also have to jump through a lot more hoops, and he would have to know how the game works a lot better, and he don't. So his stupidity, even though it's already been exposed, it would be even more so exposed. It would be even worse if he was there, because then every time he tried something, he would come up against reality and get sent right back to the bottom where he belongs. It's insane that that's where we're at. And it's insane that now, he's endorsing Jim Jordan, another radical. They can't just have a reasonable, moderate dude. For the longest time, the one mistake that I made, and the one mistake that I heard so many other left-leaning content creators make, they would say, well, if Republicans could just find a moderate guy, if they could just find somebody in the middle that could appease the independents, then they might start winning this thing. That's not going to happen, because they don't have enough reasonable people on their side. All they have is this batshit insane base, and they have to appease it any way they can. So if Trump ain't going to be the Speaker, then they have to reach out here and they have to get the absolute, most radical person they can find, because that's what they want. We all thought, well, if they could just kind of find somebody that was smarter than Trump and a little bit more moderate, leaning a little bit more this way, he might could take over the party. But that's never going to happen, because at the end of the day, these people want to be entertained. And Trump entertains them. In their miserable lives, Trump is their entertainer. So if he can't be president, they would make him Speaker. They would make him anything they could. They would create their own little thing. I could so see this happening. One of these days, once he finally loses everything else, they'll just build him a house somewhere, like Kid Rock built his southern version of the White House. They'll just build Trump his own thing, call him that, and they'll just all sit there and live in their alternate reality, because at the end of the day, that's where they're at. Folks, they're honest to God in an alternate reality. They're not in the same universe as the rest of us, and that's why it's so hard to have these damn conversations.